Welcome to Remember This TV show with your host, Denise Boland, and your co-host, Helene Buccieri. Tonight's guests are Jimmy Cervello, Roger Fiorentino, Lou Natali, Phil Cucura, and I'm your announcer, Bodybuilder Bob. And now, the one, the only, Retro Queen, here's Denise.
Welcome to another episode of Remember This. I am pleased to have as a co-host tonight the producer of What's Happening with Kids on the Island, Helene Buccieri.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you so
for
much
being
for having
here.
me. And let me just say that I love being on your show because when else can I get to dress this way
That's right. Gives you a good excuse, right?
and not get weird looks?
Actually, I got weird looks tonight on the way over here in the car. But yeah, this show is all about looking back, and it's great when you can just go back to that place in time, you know.
There's nothing like
That brings you
reminiscing.
joy. Yep. And talk about going back. Do you believe it's 41 years since the release of Jaws?
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Is it
came out
really?
June 21st,
Wow. 1975.
1975.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I remember going to see it and just like jumping in my seat and listening to that score and going back the next day and seeing it again 3 times, and then
That's
maybe
right.
next week, the week after, and watching it again for 3 times. And
And it's funny because it wasn't
was
a real
fun.
shark, but it scared us. But, you know, I hear that they had a lot of problems in the making of that movie. Like, they didn't even have the whole entire script written out. They were writing as they were filming, as they were going along. And the mechanical shark that they used was rusting in the salt water and eventually sunk to the bottom of the ocean floor. So, I mean, even despite all those problems, 41 years ago this summer, people lined up around the block to go see this movie, Jaws, you know, and it was the summer blockbuster.
But you know what? Despite all those problems, that movie did bring out Steven Spielberg's
Oh,
career, and it made him a master craftsmanship
Oh, for sure.
of popular movies today.
And
Yes,
he's a film genius.
yes, he is.
He really
yes, he
is. He
Yeah.
was quoted as saying that half of the success of the film Jaws was because of the score. It was John Williams' iconic score.
John Williams is the best. Yeah, he's done Poseidon Adventure, The Towering Inferno.
Yep.
And
Oh, definitely.
you know,
You know, he was
E.T.?
quoted. Yes, E.T. was a great one. Phone Home. Yes. It was one of the best film scores of all time.
yeah, and the film score earned him an Academy Award, and then was later ranked the 6th greatest score by the American Film Institute.
Yes, that's right. Well, it's something because the main shark theme, that pattern, it was 2 notes, right? That dun dun dun. It was like an E and an F and an F and an F sharp. It became the classic piece for like suspense movies, and any time you knew danger was coming, you would hear that, right? That da 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 da, you know. So it's just amazing, you know.
Well, I did film my son when he had his little diaper on and he was crawling through the house, and I added the music in it as he's crawling towards me, and I'm filming him, dun 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 dun.
How creative you are.
Where are we going?
Swimming!
In recent days, a cloud has appeared on the horizon of this beautiful resort community. A cloud in the shape of a killer shark.
Are you going to close the beaches?
Yes, we are.
Well, this is not a boat accident. There wasn't any killer. There wasn't any coral reef. And it wasn't Jack the Ripper.
It was a shark. I'll catch this bird for you, but it ain't gonna be easy. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them.
And it became a classic piece of suspense music. You know, when you hear this, it's synonymous with danger is coming,
Yes.
right? So it's great. And for those of you that haven't heard the Jaws soundtrack, you can find it on Amazon.com.
You should definitely check it out.
You know, Denise, talking about that, over my career of voiceovers and commercials and even
Yeah.
some movies, you'll always think back to that particular, with the music and the soundtrack. The soundtrack just brings out that whole feeling back that you actually got out of that movie. And I don't know if you agree with that? or-
Yes. Oh, I totally
Yeah.
agree. The music just brings you back to that moment in time.
Always.
It connects
Yeah.
you, yes.
Yes.
Well, they say music stirs up your emotions stir up memories, you know, and that's so true, because I can hear a song that I heard from childhood, and it'll take me right back to that spot where I first heard it, who I was with, what I was doing. It's
Sometimes good, sometimes
What was
bad.
that song?
That's
by,
right.
The song by the Carpenters, Every Little Sha-la-la-la. It's like,
Oh, okay, yes, that's right. Yes.
yeah, and that actually, that always chokes you up a little when you hear it.
And on the flip side of that, I think that the success of a song depends on if it has a music video. I think it's so important, right?
Yes, definitely.
Because music videos are a sector of the music industry. They bring the visuals and sound all together.
Yeah, and MTV, was the first company to take advantage of the
Yes.
music videos, and I do believe in 1981, the very first video was "Video Killed the Radio Star" by the Buggles.
The Buggles,
Got it.
one-hit wonders.
The one-hit wonder.
And that carried out to play like such a huge part of the music industry. Tonight's guests know firsthand how important music videos are to the success of a song. And we are so pleased and honored to have them here. I would like everybody to give them a really big round of applause as we introduce the Atomik Age Project. Thank you for being here, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
We're so honored to have you.
Thank you. It's
Can
an
you-
honor for us.
Thank you. Can you introduce yourselves to the audience?
Certainly. My name is Jimmy Cerebello. I'm the voice of the Atomik Age Project.
My name is Phil Kakura. I write the songs for the group.
Nice.
I'm Lou Di Natale. I'm the keyboardist in the Atomik Age Project.
Nice.
And I'm Roger Fiorentino, and I'm the bottom end.
Thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us how this all formed, how it all started?
Well, for me, it started for me because Phil called me up after 25 years. So Phil and I had known each other since we were little kids. He might have been 5 years old when I met him.
Wow.
And so things happen and we live our lives and we lost contact, and all of a sudden one day I get a phone call. Why did I get a phone call?
We did a film for CTV, CTV as a matter of fact, the Lenny and Phil story. My good friend Lenny, we lost 3 years ago. He passed away.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And we kind of did a little compilation of all our videos over the last 30, 35 years, and we called it the Lenny and Phil story rather than just, show clips. So to make a long story short, the film won Best Screenplay at the Director's Chair Festival.
That's
28th
wonderful.
Festival. And from that point, I needed something at the end, in the end credits, for music. So I picked up my guitar, and I started writing a song called Look at Me, You're on TV. And that's basically what we were all about. We were trying to get on television,
Right.
And CTV actually fulfilled
That's
that
great.
dream. And I called up Jimmy, and I asked Jimmy after 25 years, I says, Jim, this is Phil, and just to show you, we're so good friends and like brothers. And he says, oh yeah, sure. It's like no time has passed. It's like just, okay, I'll be over there. So that's how it all started.
That's usually the way it is, right?
Roger and Bob Aniano and my brother Joe, who I lost also about 6 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Lou came a little bit after that, and added a whole different dimension to it. But that's basically how it started.
That's wonderful. Well, actually, that's how I found out about you guys, because I saw you on CTV, and I saw this video, Old Days, that I thought was incredible. And
Thank
for
you.
those of you that haven't seen it, we're going to show it to you later on in the show. Just to see the neighborhood, how it is now, and they talked about how it was then, and it's, it's for all of us, because we could all take that step back in
sure
time
can.
and go back to our neighborhood.
And that's what we realized, that so many people could relate to it, even though it might not have been their neighborhood.
That's right.
When we went back, and Phil was, it was a great production. Lou was driving, I was in the passenger seat, and Phil was in the back filming everything that we saw and talked about. And we just rode through the neighborhoods and were shocked at how different
Yes.
they were. I mean, the changes. We saw places where we first started playing. We saw places where we first started recording. All different. Everything gone,
Yeah.
except for Spumoni Gardens.
Yes.
That's still the same.
That's
right,
still standing.
Still there. Still the same.
Landmark.
L&B. So everything else had changed, and when we looked at it and spoke about it, it struck a common bond, and everybody that's seen it has reacted to it in a positive way. We're shocked. We never really thought of ourselves as filmmakers as much as we thought of ourselves as musicians and songwriters. But it turned into a whole nother dimension.
Right.
The amount of laurels we have. Explain the laurel
Yes.
things, because you do that better.
Yes.
Well, the laurels are, if you're selected for a film festival, I mean, there's literally thousands of entries or submissions to film festivals, and we spoke about this the other day when
Yes.
we had met. So if you're selected, you get a laurel. It's basically a symbol of your work, and that's the first thing. Then from that point, you're nominated, and from the next point, either you win or you're just happy just to be selected, because you could put those laurels on the posters. And the Old Days poster, we're up to 8 right now.
Wow.
Which is so funny because when we were speaking a couple of days ago, we actually were selected for the London Film Festival.
Yes,
for
wow.
Old Days.
Congratulations.
We're really proud that we're international now. We're
Yes.
international.
Now, did you have anything to do with that,
No.
exit? Oh.
No.
Well, it happened after we won.
Okay.
The same day, maybe, right?
Yeah, it
They
was-
win,
it
the
was
prime
same.
minister resigns, what's
And
up
all
with
the
that?
money goes down, yeah.
Made it big and now they're going downhill.
So that what happened with that was we were selected, then 2 days later we find out that we've been nominated, and there were 2 nominations.
Just 2.
Just
Us
2.
and a gentleman from Indonesia. Basically, the entire festival were 90% international, France, Spain, all over the place.
That's
And
wonderful.
he actually won, and he deserved it because he had a fantastic movie. It was a full-fledged movie, high production value, big budget, and symphony orchestra did the music to it.
It's amazing.
But
that-
For us to
that
be
says
up
a
against
lot
that was
about
amazing.
you, for
But we're
you
happy
to come in
to be there,
second.
to be nominated.
Yeah.
and
Sure.
It was a fantastic experience.
That's so
Fantastic.
wonderful. Congratulations,
Thank you.
guys.
Congratulations.
Old days,
yes,
old days
definitely,
just
definitely.
keeps going on, and we always think, oh, well, that's over, let's go on to the next project. But then we get a phone call, and it's still going on, except that we
Yeah.
are working now on our next project.
You are.
Because everything, you know, as Phil said, we lost his brother, who was a dear friend of mine as well. He was a drummer, my drummer in in two of my bands.
And Roger's buddy.
And
Grew up
yeah, one
together.
of Roger's best friends. And so every time we lose someone, Phil sits down and writes a song. So everything we do, even if it's not a tribute to our friends, they're always tributes.
Right.
So he loves Marlon Brando. So he
Yeah.
wrote a song about Marlon
Yes,
Brando,
I heard
tribute to
about
Marlon
that.
Brando. Won awards. We love the Beatles. So he writes a song about the Beatles, and we win best
That's
Pop-
amazing.
pop,
Best
uh,
Pop
song.
soundtrack at the Garden State Film Festival,
2014.
where we were hobnobbing with
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern,
Wow.
Ed
Ed
Asner.
Asner. Yeah.
Phoebe Newwood.
Yeah.
Mr.
It was like,
Brand.
and we're all standing, and because we're holding this award, which validates what we do for
So
everyone who doesn't know us, you know, people actually wanted to take pictures with us, which I thought was the funniest
Isn't
thing.
that something?
It's fun. It's
Oh,
everything is
yeah.
fun that we do, and we're blessed to have each other.
It's not only is these four people, it's my daughter Christina Dempsey, who does background vocals. It's Stu Siderman, who's on sax. It's Bob Aniano in the beginning days on guitar with Wild One and songs like that. And my brother Joe was playing drums at that
Right.
point in time. Who am I missing?
And then Mike McCarroll,
McCarroll.
Mike McCarroll, who goes back, you know, from the beginning for us, and we finally got him in the old days video. So the beautiful drummer that's playing, the handsome, beautiful drummer that's playing, we lost him as well. So, yeah.
Now,
So,
when did that come out, Old Days? Was that 2013?
Well, we started filming it in 2012, November
Wow.
2013.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
A lot of time.
A lot of
spent in
time.
A lot
putting
of
that
time has
together.
passed, but
Yeah.
it's grown over the years. It's, you know what it is, different audiences start picking it up.
Yes.
And the theme of it is everybody kind of connects to the theme. Everybody wants to go back to their times when they felt free and they felt good, and we all know what that feels like.
That's right.
And that's one of the main reasons when people decide to create projects. Don't create a project just for yourself. Create a project for the masses. You're going to have a
Yes.
better chance of it being accepted if you have something that people can connect with.
That's right.
And that's a key thing.
Yes.
It really is. And another thing is, excuse me, don't keep your work in your computer. Don't keep your work in your head. Force yourself to get it out there. Even though you might think that nobody's going to listen and nobody cares, you're wrong. Look what happened. I mean, we started off with basically the director's chair. This is Kenny Graham and Kimber Everly, I'm sorry. This is their festival. And Wild One was the first one to win the best soundtrack.
that was the Marlon Brando.
That was the Marlon Brando thing. And then from that point going forward, it was Forever Fab, Old Days, and now this Friends for Life thing, which we can talk about later on.
Right.
But you just keep on adding things. You keep on putting yourself out there, extending yourself. And if you fall down, you fall down. But you know what? Sometimes you do succeed, and you just, continue
And
from
you're
that
living
point.
proof of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So
One of the biggest differences for us and our success is this gentleman, because he is the guy that puts everything out there. He's constantly pushing it. You know, we've all done projects our whole lives where, nothing happened. And we're thinking, why didn't it happen? But we didn't have him, and he's the
the
guy. And
missing
he's
piece.
very humble about it, and he doesn't take the credit that he deserves, but he deserves all of it. Of course it's true.
do you know what's
You
important
do a
about all this?
fascinating job with the videos. I want to take editing lessons from you.
I'm telling you, he always brings us over. Oh, look at what I've learned. Look
Yes.
at this effect. I mean, for
Right.
the next video, it's like
It's flipped out the
talk
next
about Steven Spielberg.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to see
Can't
it.
wait
yeah,
to see it.
and
That's another
and,
story.
and the funniest thing is, we got to this point where we kind of thought we weren't really relevant anymore, You know, and as I said, and then all of a sudden you feel, well, you still have something to offer. And even if it's telling people about what we had, you know, showing them what things used to be, like you talked about the movie theater. And
Right.
we go back and we look at the Culver Theater on 18th Avenue.
Yes.
And it's gone, it's a bank now, but
still in
everything
here.
that, yes, every one of those shows, the 25 color cartoons on a Saturday
Yes.
morning,
Yes.
you know, taking my sister Debbie, you know.
Yep, I remember those Saturday morning matinees.
They were
and it
great.
was a
They
dollar
were
to get
great.
in.
You don't have that anymore.
No.
But there's a lot of things that you don't have anymore, and that's part of our next project.
Right, well, eventually we'll talk about it, but it's Friends for Life.
And Lou,
And-
how'd you feel when we finally had that CD, that whole CD?
Oh, it was an incredible feeling when you finally finish something. I mean, like I said, just to finish projects is a great thing, because as I said, we've done projects forever and never really got it. Phil makes sure that we get to the end, always like make sure that it's a finished product, and it's when it's finished, I mean, it's really professionally done, and it's exciting. It's an exciting project. You can't.
It's
I
such a
look
great
forward to every
accomplishment, right?
you know, every time he calls me to do another part or lay down some tracks. It's and you never know what's going to come out.
Right.
It's always you lay down track after track after track, and you sort of leave not knowing what it's going to sound like, and then he calls you back in a couple of weeks and says, "You like it, like it," and it's always, yeah, of course I like it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There's such a deep trust and respect for each other and our
It's
talents.
important.
He
You know,
lets
Roger's-
you play, lets you do what you got to do, and then he.
Yeah, having Roger and Lou, you know, from the Atomic Age Project, the three of us started the band that will play today, Peace Train. That all started from this.
Riders on the storm, riders on the storm. Into this house we're born, into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, and after out alone. Riders on the storm, there's a killer on the road. Squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday, let your children play. If you get this man a ride, sweet memory will die. Killer on the road.
Okay.
And Lou and I got together and we said, you know, we should do a duo. You know, because Lou was playing duos with everybody. I was getting jealous. I said, you know, I want to be in a Lou duo.
There you go.
And then Roger walked in, and it was the one component that made that band different from every other band, because he plays bass
The bass,
synthesizer,
yes.
adds this incredible texture to the music, and you know, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
Fun,
right?
right?
A man of few words today. But no, Phil does draw the best out of us, and it was Phil's doing that I was able to connect,
That's
because
right.
Phil mentioned that you were getting together, and actually you called Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't invite Roger, he just walked in.
We thought Phil called.
Right place at the right time.
But
He
if I
was
may
perfect.
interject one thing, Phil has just an incredible way of he allows you to be who you are, but the best comes out when you're with him. I just don't know how else to.
That's wonderful.
He's just real good at that, and it's such a comfortable atmosphere, you know, to work with him, and you do, Phil. You pull the best out of us, and
It's not just work, though, it's friends.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah,
been friends
it's
for
fun.
like,
Yeah.
forget about it, it's like 40, 50 years.
And it's amazing, because if you look back at all those really great bands that just couldn't get along and they would break up, right?
True.
Pink Floyd, for one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that's amazing when you can just make it all
Even
work,
Beatles,
you know,
too.
because your hearts are for each other.
Well, there's one element that is not there, and the element is money. Usually when money comes into play with anything, it wrecks everything. This, you know, this actually costs money to put out.
They say money's
You
the
don't make
evil of all
money.
evils.
It's like being in a club and you have to pay dues.
Right, right.
So it's all
But
good.
it has a
It's
good
all
payoff
feel.
to it.
It's all good feel, and that's why we all love doing it together, and to have that accomplishment when you see that laurel on the end of the poster, or people talking about it, like, it just recently, in April, we won Best Song, Most Original Song. A lot of country people
Wow.
from Muskogee, and this is their 17th year. So it was so great. It was such an honor.
Sure.
And it kind of gives you that little push to do the next thing all the time. Because it's always easy for your friends and your family to say, oh, yeah, that sounds great, that sounds good. But when you
Yeah.
get strangers and you get professors from
That's
big
right.
colleges like Columbia who are on the board of judges, and they're voting you because it's a point system, how they rate it. And when you finally get the call, you say to yourself, wow, that was worth it. That was definitely worth
Oh,
the time.
of course.
And you know how much time goes into all this stuff.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And we all have
Definitely, we
such
know.
collective memories. I mean, we share so much.
Yes.
We've known each other for most of our lives.
Yep.
Lou and I shared a loft with our two
Oh,
bands back
Early
in the
70s.
70s.
Yeah, early 70s.
Wow.
Donald and Kings Highway.
McDonald and Kings Highway. And when we drove, and it's in the video, when we drove back, we were shocked that the train was right next to the loft. I mean, it was, the L was
Right.
right next. So you would think, we never heard that train. We
Yeah.
were so loud, we never heard the
I
train.
have to tell you, I grew up in Borough Park, so I had the L on my corner. And for 16 years, I'm listening to the train going by, what, every 15, 20 minutes?
Right.
And that's the F train.
When I moved, I could not sleep. I missed
Right,
the sounds of
right.
the train. How weird,
You know,
right?
there are recordings, you could get the
Yes, I know. Not the same.
And Lou could play anything you want.
Okay. I hear you
You
do a
call 'em
Wicked
at
Jaws
night.
theme, huh?
I used to like hearing the subway. I also heard the subway from where I lived.
Yeah.
At night, I
It's
would
like
hear it
soothing.
going
It's-
by, you know.
It's like
And I knew
part
the
of your
next
life.
stop over, it was going towards Coney Island, it was the F train.
Right, the
Right.
F train.
Yeah.
Right. That was McDonald Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
Yeah.
grew up in
Yeah.
where? Avenue U or
X.
Avenue
Yeah,
X?
yeah. Avenue X. And I was only like 5 blocks away from the subway,
Yeah.
which was great when I went to work in the morning, 'cause it was a short little walk and right on the
Right.
train, and, you know, it wasn't too far.
That was Gravesend?
Yeah, Gravesend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 I used to rehearse in a basement in Gravesend.
Really?
And when I got off the F train, I would be so excited because as I got off, it was 3 blocks from the train, and I could hear the band.
Oh, wow. You could hear them
And
playing.
I would get excited, like I couldn't wait to
I
get
think
there.
I know what where you're talking about, though, because
It was on Avenue U and West Street.
Yeah, it was West Street, because I used to hear
Wow.
bands coming out of the.
Yeah, that was Pat Lozito,
It was
my
going
dear
downstairs,
friend.
right? Down the
Wow.
steps
Yeah,
into
yeah,
a.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to hear the bands playing.
might have
all the
ran into
time,
each
and I was
other.
always
Long time ago.
maybe.
Should have come in.
Yeah,
And you were a hippie back in the day, right?
always.
Big time.
Yep.
I think we all were
Yeah.
at one point.
Yep.
But that's basically how it all started, you know, and the Wild One was the first one, the Ballad of Brando. Just fantastic actor, the method acting that he used, that everybody followed after that, and it just was perfect. And that's how we got it. We finally got started, you know, with that Wild One, Ballad of Brando. And if you wanted to take a look at the trailer, there's a short little 1-minute trailer. That's, you know. if it's
Okay,
up-
we could
if
do
you
that
wanna
right
look at
now.
His acting ability was so well crafted that the characters he portrayed on screen were the only people you would see. Marlon Brando, the actor, was nowhere to be found.
It's practically like he's in color and everything else is in black and white.
He won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance in The Godfather, but turned down the Oscar.
Looks like they made him an offer he could refuse.
He just opens his arms and he sings, "Oh no." I was hooked. I was a fan.
Marlon Brando was and will always be one of the greatest actors of all time.
He's the maker. There's before Brando and after Brando.
Right.
So tell us
After that happened, the next one was the next great thing that was the Beatles. And all of us here, and including Roger, who had tickets at Shea Stadium for the Beatles.
Wait a minute, you had tickets and you didn't go?
No, I went.
He went. Yeah.
That sounded like you didn't go.
Actually, my mom took me. That's the Beatles.
You lucky. You lucky.
Very lucky. So we all remember sitting on the floor in the living rooms of our aunts or uncles' houses, February 9th, all parents, 1964 at 8 o'clock at the Ed Sullivan Show. And you know, it's burned in your brain.
It really is.
Burned in your brain. So that's where Forever Fab came out of, a song that I wrote, and again, with these guys, put it together. And we started off at the Queens Film Festival, because Staten Island Film Festival at that time ended. And the next year, we won Best Pop Soundtrack at the Garden State Film Festival for Forever Fab in 2014. So Forever Fab was a short little trailer, and it's about another minute or so.
Right.
And it's there if you need
Yep, we're
to
going
show
to
it.
show that too.
I'm not sure, I don't remember if I was waiting for it to happen or if I was anticipating it. You never paid a lot of attention to what was going on. It was entertainment and it was fun. And all of a sudden, things changed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Now, you wanted to be a Beatle. You wanted to be one of those guys that the girls were screaming for. How great would it be to be a Beatle? You know, just have that adulation, to have that success, to be able to make music that touches so many lives.
Days started off with a book that I read about the old neighborhoods, and I bought that for my wife Kathy, and I'm reading the book and literally saying, this has got to be a song, because it brings back all the feelings and everything that we used to have as children and as young adults, and Old Days song came about, I called, I think it was Jimmy and Louie over to find out if the song had something to it, and they both agreed, and then I elaborated on it. Then the following couple of months or so, we started off with recording it. I laid down the foundation tracks first, and then all these guys come over one at a time, and you have Old Days. And it's kind of counterintuitive because most people will film a movie first, and then the song or soundtrack, like Bob was saying, will come on later. We're just the opposite. We do the song, and because of the way things are today, nobody really plays your stuff if you have original stuff, so you have to force it. And you usually put a short film or a music video together with that song, and if you're lucky enough to get it selected at a film festival, that's when everybody starts listening.
Right.
And that's how it happens. So that's why you have to keep on continuing to make yourself better and get your stuff out there. Don't just talk about it, do it.
That's right. Well, I wish you continued success.
Oh, we appreciate that.
And let me know how it is in London.
Oh, God.
You know, we're really
That's your
trying
next
to
step.
talk them into going, yeah, and I heard it's really inexpensive now.
It is inexpensive, yeah.
But
I've heard
Phil
$400 maybe for the weekend.
Yeah. Phil has an open invitation from Abbey Road Studios because we mix all our songs at Abbey Road Studios,
okay.
which helps us a great deal because
Yeah,
with the work they do is astonishing. Personally, to me, you know, I hear it and it sounds beautiful, and then he sends it and it sounds more beautiful, but you really can't tell why it sounds more beautiful. They just do something to it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
the mastering.
It's the mastering. It's
mastering,
the end result of your final mix. It's the polish, or what they call radio ready. That every song gets.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So Phil is also always in contact with them, so he has an open invitation to bring us, and it's very difficult to get into Abbey Road Studios, and we're huge Beatle fans, so this would be amazing.
That's great.
Just promise me one thing.
We'll take you.
Okay, that's not what I was going to ask. I would love to see a picture of you guys walking across Abbey Road.
Yeah.
One of you has to be barefoot.
And you know, that's recorded live on the computer.
He watches
Yeah,
it all day
Constantly.
long.
I watch it too. I watch it too, you know.
I watch all the close calls of the
So
people that almost
you
get
have
hit
to
by
let us
cars.
know when you're going
We
to
don't
do
want that.
this so we can put it on and
Yes.
watch you guys walking across.
We want to see that.
Yeah, we want to do that too.
But the Old Days project turned out to be two separate projects. It turned out to be the full 20-minute project where you actually go back to Brooklyn. But unless you're really familiar with Brooklyn and you have that interest in Brooklyn, you might not find interest in that. You know, it might be a little bit too long before you have to wait for the song. So I cut it as a music video also, but put the elements of the film at the beginning and end of it. And it turned out to be 6 minutes, and that we have also if
Yep.
you want to show it.
We're definitely going to show that.
We try to live in the present, dealing with all the responsibilities adulthood requires. And yet, I feel the pull of those childhood memories profoundly magnetic. The relationships we established were intense, especially when it came to making music together. It turned us into brothers. Today, when we get together, we talk about those old days as if they were the happiest times of our lives. It's hard to argue that they weren't.
You know, we were all very, very lucky to grow up in those times. Those times are so great. We grew up in it with the best music, the Beatles, you know, the Beatles and Elton John and Billy Joel and all these bands that we all grew up together listening to that influenced us and made us better people. You know, that music, you know, I always said, you know, when you have music in your life, it makes you a better person.
I just remembered a time we always felt so new. It's coming all back to me. It's so true. When you held me, then you tell me I love you. share the laughter of it all. It's coming all back to me. Feels so good. Traveling time and it feels like the old days. Running on the years that flew. Dreaming of all the days and the old ways. Glad to be here with you. Old days, I miss you. The time was so precious, and now that I feel blue, just takes me back with you. I just remembered a time we always felt so new. It's coming all back to me. Feels so good. Traveling time and it feels like the old days. Family and friends we knew. Thinking of all the days and the old ways. Glad to be here with you. Traveling time and it feels like the old days. Running on the years that flew. Dreaming of all the days and the old ways. Glad to be here with you. Traveling time and it feels like the old days. Running down the avenue. Talk about all the days and the old ways. Glad to be here with you. Traveling time. Glad to be here with you. Traveling time and it feels like old days. Glad to be here with you.
Carefree, no worries, no responsibilities, good times, playing music, friends. You know, even in school, I couldn't wait to come home to get on the drums and jam. And that's what it was all about.
And I just want you guys to know that you have been an incentive to Helene and I.
Yes.
For us to go back.
We're going back.
So we're gonna
That's
show
good.
what happens. when
To
we
our
go.
I can't wait to see that.
To our neighborhood and how it's changed.
I know the house I grew up in is not there anymore, but I'll still go to the block and
Yeah,
school.
my house is still there and the block is still there, but it has changed a lot. A lot of the houses were knocked down and rebuilt
Right,
into little
exactly.
mini mansions.
Well, Roger's
Yep.
original house wasn't
It's
there when
gone,
we
yeah.
filmed.
But Lou's house.
Lou's house is
intact
still there.
and the same, and his mom still lives in it.
Oh, that's great.
And the
That-
appliances
that's-
are still the
that's
same.
great.
Appliances are the same, you're right.
So some
Because
things are-
it's because they
You're
never
lucky.
lived upstairs. You know?
Right,
Right.
We were talking about that the other day.
Right?
You know,
Everybody
that-
used to live, well, the
Italians
furniture was
all lived in
covered
the
with
basement.
plastic,
Right.
so you couldn't
Oh,
sit on
yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah, the plastic, so uncomfortable.
So
And you
Italian
lived in the
way.
basement.
Okay. You know, the Little Victory Theater, a friend of mine, Joe Simonelli, he's a Brooklyn playwright, he's coming out with a play called Sicilians in the Basement. It's probably just about that.
Perfect.
It's in the basement,
Yep.
you know? Dining room table is down there,
That's
everything.
funny.
And all the wall paneling.
Yes, you
The
have
wall
to have the wall
paneling.
Yeah, you
paneling.
got it. You can't forget that. the
That's
wall
right.
paneling.
Actually, yeah, in my mother's house, we still have the wall paneling down there. We still have a rotary phone in the house. There's
Oh,
a
nice.
rotary phone
That's great.
from way
You-
back when.
And you try it now and you think, how could I have waited that long to dial a number?
Yeah,
Where you would
right?
dial 0 and have to wait
You
till
know, and then
it goes all the way back
going
around.
and, yeah.
Everything now is quick.
Yes.
Quick, yeah, everything's fast.
We had
Everything
the
is smaller and
exchanges.
faster.
Do you remember the phone exchanges? Like, my number was 853,
Oh,
which
yes.
is UL3,
Yes.
short for Ulster.
Yeah,
I was
that's
Ulster.
mine was
You were
too.
Ulster?
I was also 44375.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Coney Island Avenue. It was BU23026.
Isn't that amazing?
I
Do
was-
you remember
I
these
was-
phone numbers?
Esplanade,
Do you remember your phone number
Esplanade.
growing up, Bob?
Yeah, Unionville 2 was the beginning
Oh,
of
there
my
you go,
life.
see?
I swear to
Esplanade.
God. Then
Yes.
somebody else.
Esplanade, right.
Esplanade, wasn't that Lucy?
Did you grow up in New York or New Jersey?
In Jersey,
That's the
yeah.
number.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we had to wait. We had party lines and everything else. We had party lines.
Remember the party lines?
Absolutely.
Remember not getting through and you get the busy signal?
Yes,
Yes.
Or
busy
call
signal.
waiting?
Yeah. I used to talk anyway. That's why I had plenty of time to learn all of this.
In our next video, we talk about how you would have to take your phone and stretch the cord to go into like the
Yes.
bathroom or
Oh,
something where you
yeah.
get privacy. And you'd have the cord across the floor.
Yes.
We all bought the French phones. Remember nice French phones? And you take
I
about
remember
maybe a
those.
foot away and all of a sudden the whole thing would fall off the table.
Yes.
I know.
Because they
Not
already
very
came out with
practical.
those extension cords later on.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
originally
I
just a
remember those.
straight
That's right,
wire.
yeah.
Yes.
You know, then the coil cord became about that big, and then it was the 25-footers that you just extended all the way into a
Right.
bathroom or a closet. And it's funny because his end voiceover talks about that, about how things have changed, and Friends for Life is basically what we remember as friends, that we used to have to knock on people's doors, say,
That's
you can
right.
come out to play.
Mhm.
or-
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
There was
Yeah,
no
yeah.
computers, there was no Facebook, there was none of that stuff.
No
But
cell
it,
phone.
and no cell phones,
No cell
and
phones.
it was totally different in those days. And we're trying to show the difference between the way things were and the way things are right now, which is great. I mean, social media is fantastic. It just shows the differences between what
Oh,
we
yeah.
had and what they have today, you know, what we have today.
And sometimes we question friends. Are you really a
Right.
friend?
Or like a Facebook
Not
friend.
criticizing, right,
Right.
but we question
Right.
the
Someone that you never
validity of
talked
it.
to. Right.
Right. My son the other day was saying, well, how did you get in contact with anybody if you didn't have a cell phone? I'm going, what?
Yeah.
You know, cell phones are new to us. You know, we lived our whole lives without
And
that
computers.
connection. You go driving
That's
in your
true.
car was wonderful. You had privacy. You drove and you relaxed. Now you
That's
drive and
right.
you're constantly connected.
Yeah.
And people call
Constantly.
you whether you're driving or not. So
You can't get away
Right.
from
there's some
people.
beautiful things about the old days.
Payphones. Remember, you needed, if you were out
Yeah.
during the day, you had to use a payphone.
You need change.
You
And
needed
fi-
change. It used to
please
be 10
deposit,
cents.
please deposit 5 cents for the next 5
Yes.
minutes, or your call will be
Oh, that's
interrupted.
right. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
forgot about that.
Yep.
Payphones,
You remember
yes.
that?
You took a
Please
paper clip and you
deposit.
put it in a wire and
Oh,
you touched
yes,
it
you
against
did.
the phone.
5 cents.
Or you could use bingo chips, but I never did that.
Was that
Never
you?
did
Reaching around for change.
Only when it was 10 cents you can get away with that. When they raise it to a quarter, you couldn't do it.
But I told my son the other day, because he was sitting around, and I said, why don't you just go out, ring Lear's doorbell, and ask him if he wants to come out? We don't
That's
do
up-
that,
that's up
Ma.
to-
They don't do that.
We don't do that, you know. I used
Well,
to
it all
walk
went
out.
downhill when they had play dates. After play dates,
Oh,
everything went
gosh.
down. Yeah.
I'd walk out,
Everything
go
was too
ring my
structured.
friend's doorbell. Her mother would come to the door. Can Andrea come out and play?
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Andrea!
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And parents didn't bother you. You played the whole day
Oh, yeah.
That's
without
right.
Yeah.
any parental
Those are the best.
supervision.
Yeah.
And your
Right.
mother would call you from the window to come in to
Yeah.
eat.
And to eat.
Yeah.
Like my mother used to say, I have eyes behind my head. She would
Oh,
tell
yeah,
me what I was
yeah,
I got
doing.
that too.
Right?
I got
She
that
had
too.
friends everywhere, and everybody watched out, right? And they get
Yeah.
on the phone and call. I see her standing on the corner with so-and-so.
But that's what this new film brings out, this little
That's
short.
great.
It's
But
about
it
20
started.
minutes.
It started
Right.
with him writing the song about his best friend Lenny,
My friend Monday,
because he
we
was
spoke about that.
devastated. You know, we're devastated anytime any one of our friends or brother dies. But he was incredibly close with Lenny, and they had this connection with film, and because of that, you know, it really hit him hard. And he wrote this beautiful song, very different from what we've had before.
You'll hear
I
it.
can't wait to hear it.
Very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
It was.
Sounds-
It reminded
It's
me.
different.
Can I say?
Yeah.
A Beatles song that it reminded me of.
Beatles?
Sure.
Because it's nothing like it, but you know the one I'm thinking about, Good Day Sunshine.
Good Day Sunshine.
Yeah.
Gotta get you into my life.
Got to get you into my life. That kind of feel.
That is
You know, where it
nice.
was like uplifting. And
Forms, you know, and basically the people that you see on the stage, with the exception of my daughter Christina Dempsey, who I just wrote out of her vocal parts, her harmonies, and I have to get her over there to do her harmonies. But we just finished Jimmy's vocal about 4 weeks ago, and the song is ready to go. Jimmy's brother-in-law, his mother is going to do an interview. She's 91.
Wow.
And we
So
can't wait to
That's
interview her.
exciting.
Yeah, so you'll get that point of
It's
view
got to be
from
so
her.
full of knowledge. You learn so much.
Oh, you do?
right?
Yeah.
When you talk
Yes,
to
yes.
And a
And
whole
Al,
different,
Al Lambert
Yes.
did an interview for us. He was gracious enough to come over and do an interview, which
came into our little
phenomenal.
studio.
Oh,
It was great.
that's wonderful.
It was great. So between the music video, which I have the script all ready to go, it's just a matter of, you know, when we're going to do it and put that on the timeline with the interviews, and that'll become Friends for Life. And there's a teaser trailer that I have, and if you want to see it,
Yes.
it's up to you.
What is friendship?
It's a feeling, it's a person you can trust, it's a person that you enjoy spending time with.
The word friendship to me means togetherness, doing things with people, spending time together, enjoying them.
In this age of social networking, the word friend is used quite a lot, but for different reasons.
And what are your memories going to focus around? Your friendships, because those are going to be the better moments.
Guys, we left out one thing. We left out the stoop.
Oh, the stoop. Yes.
Stoop.
That's right.
We all sat on the stoop at night.
The stoop.
In
For
the
those of you-
summertime.
Those of you that don't know, we're steps.
What's a stoop,
That
you
brings to
ask?
the front door. And we played stoop ball on the
Stoop
step.
ball.
Yes,
That's
we
right.
did. Yes, we did. Stoop ball.
And if you were lucky enough for the ball to hit
The
that
point.
point,
Oh, yeah, you
points.
get
it'd go
500
flying,
points.
and it would be a home run, and that would be
That's
it. you know?
500, yeah.
You had to do it on a fly, not on a bounce.
Right,
Right,
right.
you can't bounce.
Exactly.
Those were the good old days.
That's a Brooklyn kind of thing, you know,
Yes.
because you talk to people from New Jersey and things like that.
Yeah, they didn't have
They
stoop.
didn't.
They- you know, they
Bob, did you have a stoop?
No.
The stoop? No stoop?
Try the soup. No, no. I don't.
Vegetable chicken.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we had a soup night, but not like that. I mean, you know.
What are you doing later? I'm going to go sit on the stoop. Come over.
Everybody was out, especially on a hot summer night.
Oh yeah, there were no air
okay.
conditioners. Remember,
No,
we
that's
didn't have
right.
air
No,
conditioning.
We had a
didn't.
lot of blackouts back in Brooklyn,
did.
too, in
Yes.
those days.
That big one
And,
in
yeah,
77,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, everybody was outside that night.
We had the
It was
church
so
dances
hot.
on the weekends, right? The church,
what?
church
Blackouts.
dances on the weekends.
Oh,
Dance.
yeah.
That's
Confraternity.
where everybody
dance.
went.
Yeah.
So we all got together on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Well, you guys are great.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
so
like-
happy
Yeah,
to
can't
have
wait
you.
to hear your song.
Yes.
Can't wait to see
Oh,
what you're going to do.
thank you.
I
We
mean,
can't wait
Thank
to,
you.
Guys
You
are
know,
in
Old
for a
Days was
big treat.
great. When I saw Old Days the first time, and when it was airing, I caught like half of it, and I was like, wow, this is really good. I've got to see this whole thing, and I got to find out who these people are and who this producer is. And so I
Well, we thank
waited and
you.
waited till I kept checking and checking and checking, and then I caught it, and then I threw in a tape, and I taped it.
Oh,
Well, it's an
running
honor.
into
It's an
Denise.
And that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then-
you can tell how we met.
Yes.
We were talking about it, and then she told me that she ran into you.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're kidding? Oh, wow, that's
And
great.
it was,
You want to tell it?
yeah, I'm walking through Mike's.
Well, keep in
diner.
mind, keep in mind for like the last, I don't know, 8 months since I seen it, I was like, I have to meet them, I have to meet them.
That's what I was
And then all of a
saying.
sudden,
I have
yes.
to meet them.
So and it's funny because you don't think as many people are seeing it as there are seeing it. And you get recognized, which I find astonishing, right? I always, all my recognition stories I share because it's so funny to me. So I'm walking through Mike's Diner.
Yes.
Is it Diner or?
Yeah, Mike's Diner on New
Right.
Dorp Lake.
New Dorp,
Yes.
which Phil just was introduced to and he loved it.
Yeah.
Mike's Diner.
Very
good.
So I'm walking through and Denise yells, "Excuse me, do you have a TV show?" And I said, "No, I don't have a TV show. I've been in a TV show." I said, and then I said, "Oh, you're in a TV show," and then that's how we connected.
Yeah, I was like, I
Yeah.
saw you on CTV,
Yeah.
and I said, I have to get you on my show.
Yeah,
So
and
it
then we
was
watched the show,
perfect.
and it was perfect. This is a perfect venue for us
Yes.
because it's remember this.
It's all about looking
Yeah.
back.
And we love reminiscing. We really do.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is all fantastic. We couldn't wait to do it. And as you could see, it's like sitting in your living room
Yes.
talking, you know, and that's a good thing. you know.
Well, we hope you can come back.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
Okay.
it's an honor.
I would like to hear all about London again. when you
Yeah,
say it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
That just happened. You know,
That's-
It's gonna be
that's so
interesting.
wonderful.
Don't forget that Abbey Road.
Yes.
Don't
Yeah,
forget to
I-
let us know when you're walking across.
Thank you. And thank you for
No,
being
thank
on
you.
the show.
Yes, thank
A
you. It was
pleasure.
great meeting you guys.
Well, that's it for our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time and really enjoyed the music. I know we did.
Always.
I want to thank my co-host, Helene Bacheri.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. You have to
Thank
come
you.
back
Love
and
your
be my
show.
co-host.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I want to thank our announcer, Bodybuilder Bob.
Why, thank you.
Thank you to our guests, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. You want to see that picture, okay, from Abbey
Yes,
Road?
we do.
Thank you, Jim, Phil, Lou, and Roger. Thank you for being here.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. We want to thank Donna Tillman from Call It a Wrap.
Thanks, Donna.
Thank you for supplying us with such delicious food. And our crew, thank you. Thank you to our studio audience and our audience at home. Thank you for watching, and check us out on Facebook. Remember this, TV show. Have a good night.
See you next time.
Good night, everybody.
Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed, with these eyes before. But the truth is, I can't say anymore. But I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, how I love you. Oh, how I love you. Gazing at people, some hand in hand. Just what I'm going through, they can't understand. Some try to tell me thoughts they cannot defend.